Hi, welcome back to another Origin Showcase video. In this showcase video, we're showcasing the Parasite Origin created by the Discord user known as 𝓵 from the Origins Discord server. Anyhow, going through the information given to us by 𝓵 in the Discord message, it's a 1.16.5 base Origin, meaning it is for an earlier version of Minecraft. Now, this might possibly work on Minecraft version 1.17/version 1.17.1, but some things may potentially break. But anyway, going through the description that he gives us here, basically, you're a Parasite boy. You can become a big boy if you have lots of parasites, and small boy if not. Also, fire hates you and you're the opposite of a vegan. Oh, and you're basically blind. But wait, there's more. Yeah, there's more. Yes, you can evolve. There are 3 types. The tank parasite, very big boy. The hunter parasite, a speedy boy. And the infection parasite, speedy boy but eats others. You can evolve into any of these parasites with these easy steps. Step 1, kill tons of things for 0.3% of a chance to get a drop of an evolution, and do the specific challenge to get the thing. So tank takes lots of damage, attack, kill a villager and an iron golem, and infection, you just need a 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 potion. But there's more. If you kill a dragon, you get an even thicker. Tank boy turns into a wall, he's very slow but very thick. Hunter turns into a warrior, very fast and strong. Infection turns into a hive, very small boy, but you can become extremely thick and steal the lives of others. Anyhow, now that you have the information on what you need to know in order to evolve this origin to the many different variants that it has, let's start off with the basic Parasite boy origin and go through its abilities before we roll into the evolved variants. But before then, I'd like to ask you guys to hit the subscribe button down below, especially if you watch this far into the video and you're one of the people who've been watching many of my videos as we're slowly climbing up. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers for the end of 2021, so any help towards that goal is highly appreciated. Also, make sure to go follow me on Twitch, so I do stream often there, and let's get into the actual abilities themselves. Running through the description of the base Parasite origin, you're a human infected with an advanced parasite. Your only goal now is to survive and grow. Moving into your first ability, you've got Parasitic flesh. The Parasitic flesh all over you gives you a very dark purple color, depending on how many parasites you have. Now, for a majority of the parasite levels, you don't tend to have too much of a noticeable tinge on your skin, but as you kill more and more mobs, you'll start to grow in size, and when you start to grow in size, the purple tinge starts to become a little bit more noticeable until you reach the 3 blocks of height, which is where the purple becomes extremely noticeable upon your skin. Of course, this will be more noticeable depending on what type of skin you use, as a more brighter skin will have a far more noticeable purple sooner than what a mostly pink and purple skin like my own is going to have a noticeable purple haze on it as well. But the purple haze on it becomes very noticeable at the 3rd stage of growth when you're killing mobs. Also, a brief side note, within that 80 Vindicates that I killed in order to get this effect, I managed to successfully get one of the evolution items. Now, I do remember seeing and reading the actual notes that it's a 0.3% chance to get the item, but you know, you might get it pretty early on if you're lucky too. Moving into the next ability, you have Flammable Parasites. Due to primarily being made out of parasitic flesh, fire does a lot more damage towards you than normal. When the description says much more damage, I truly mean much more damage, as this does not 2 times, not 3 times, maybe not even 4 times damage. If you jump into lava, it will take only 3 ticks of lava to kill you from full health, as you take roughly 4 to 5 hearts per hit when you are in lava. Now, this is kind of countered by the fact that as you upgrade your parasites, you do get some form of strengths, and one of them is a very high potent fire resistance, so you can counteract this by killing a lot of mobs, but this is still a really potent fire damage increase that is going to be very annoying to deal with. So just don't touch lava. Lava doesn't like you at all. Moving to your next ability, you have the Devour ability. Occasionally when hitting something, you will heal, feed yourself, and restore some of your parasites. Now, the best way to explain this ability is whenever you hit a mob, you will be essentially rolling a dice. So if it lands on the number 6, every time it lands on the number 6, you'll be given not only some extra health if you don't have a full health bar, you'll also be given some extra hunger if you don't have a full hunger bar, and you'll also gain some parasites if you don't have a full parasite bar. Practically, that's how it works in like the best way to explain it. This can sometimes means that twice in a row, 2 hits in a row, you'll get the ability bonus, and sometimes if you could kill several mobs and get none of the ability bonuses whatsoever. It varies a lot. Moving into your next ability, Bite. Move your flesh underground and bite whomever is near, dealing some damage. This is your primary key ability. So whenever you use this ability, it spawns and evoke a biting thing right in front, around a block in front of you in whichever direction that you're looking at. It doesn't spawn a line of them, it only spawns a single one of those things. So if you know what an evoker spawns up underneath you to try and hit you, it's practically one of those things that will spawn up around a block ahead of you. Now, of course, this can be in any direction that you supposedly look. So if you look straight up, it will spawn above you. If you look straight down, it will spawn below you. So you can use it to attack things that are like a block below. Like, let's say there's a 2-block gap between where a mob is sitting and where you are. You can actually attack the mob without actually going near the mob, which is going to be a good use about it. It does do a decent amount of damage, but not too much to make you want to use it over let's say, an 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓴𝓼 sword if you get one of those things, but it is somewhat competent as an ability overall. Moving into your next ability, you've got the ability Hungry. Due to having a secondary life form attached to you, you must eat more, and you can only actually eat meat as well. So not only do you have an increased hunger decrease ratio, you can also only eat meat. Now this does kind of get counteracted by the Devour ability that you have, which means you can give yourself some bonus hunger every hit or so, depending on how lucky you are, but it just means that you can only eat meat and it moves down quite quicker, so you might want to consider having a good food source on you anyhow. Moving into your next ability, you've got the Dissolve. Dissolve your flesh into microscopic worms that can go through almost every single block. This will slowly kill your parasites, your secondary ability. This is just the Phantom ability. It just slowly consumes your Parasite bar, which is the grayish bar that's on your hot bar. Just be aware, because of how the Phantom ability was mechanicked into the actual mod itself, it will be automatically activated when you first spawn into a brand new world. So be very mindful of that and make sure to turn it off immediately the second you spawn in a world, otherwise it's going to stop you from actually getting any form of parasite buildup. Also, when your parasite bar does go down to nothing, instead of deactivating the ability, it will just start to massively consume your hunger bar. Moving into your next ability, you've got the Unknown Entity. Your unsettling parasitic appearance makes Iron Golems see you as a threat upon sight. Again, as it always is, this only affects the villager summoned Iron Golems, or golems summoned by the summon command. Any golems that are made by you directly using iron blocks and a pumpkin will never actually attack you, regardless if you hurt them or not. Other players' Iron Golems potentially might, but I don't think they do either. I think they follow the same ruling and mechanics that Iron Golems made by iron blocks do. But any Iron Golems created by villagers or summoned in via the summon command will attack you upon sight, so be aware of that. Moving to the next ability, you've got Pulse Vision. The parasites roaming on you covered most of your eyes, giving you a hard time seeing, but you can see for a short period of time by using your ability, which requires you to use the Save Hotbar Activator button. Now by default, this control is not binded to any key whatsoever. Here's a quick cut-in from me as a correction of information. This is binded to C key by default, but if you install Optifine or any other form of Zoom mod, it will debind the ability and make it so you have to bind it yourself. Find it in the control sections underneath the creative buttons. Now the Load Bar Activator is always keyed up to X by default, but you will need to bind this other one yourself in order for it to be usable. This just means that you have permanent blindness 5 to 2 depending on how tall you are. The taller you get, the more the blindness decreases, mainly because of the fact that it makes it harder to see the ground as you get taller with this maxed out blindness. But whenever you use your ability here, which is the Save Hotbar Activator button, it does make it so it removes all blindness for only like half a second at most, meaning you can see all your surroundings for a brief moment before they're gone again. I decided to combine the next two abilities together in one, even though the growth one was appearing a little bit earlier. But going into it, growth, when you're on a full stomach, the parasite flesh around you will reproduce, making you stronger. The more flesh there is, the stronger that you will get. Taking damage will kill off the parasites, thus losing your powers, meaning that every time you do get any form of parasite boost, you will grow in size. And then once you mix the maximum amount, you will hit Ravage ability, which you have the maximum parasites, you'll begin to get really strong buffs, which will last longer the longer you stay with the full parasites for. Starting low at the lower tier of the Parasite origin, when you first start off, you'll have no parasites to your name, you'll be 1 block tall, you'll have the slowness debuff, as well as the blindness debuff, as well as the mining fatigue debuff. As you slowly gain more and more parasites, you will increase to a 2-block height, where you'll have a speed increase added towards your buffs. As you continue to grow in size, you'll have regeneration added to your buffs, strength, jump boost, haste, and absorption added to your buff. At the maximum amount of parasites, you will be 4 blocks tall, you will have 28 extra hearts via absorption, you will have haste 3, you have jump boost 2, you will have speed, you will have strength 6, and regeneration 4. These are some pretty absurdly strong buffs. And of course, the longer you stay with these maxed out buffs, with the maxed out parasite, the more these increases. Because it actually starts off at 10 extra hearts, and a lower base of strength, a lower bit of speed, a lower bit of regeneration, but it just continues to build and build and build the longer you stay at your parasite maximum 4. But if you take damage, you'll lose some of your parasites. If you use your secondary ability at all, you'll lose some of your parasites. If you use the next ability, which we'll go over in a few abilities time, you'll use some of your parasites. Essentially, you can either hold in all your parasites and not use any of your other abilities for the trade-off of getting extremely good buffs to your character, or you use them and not exactly get these brilliantly, I believe, potentially overpowered buffs. Mind you, Iron Golems still break through the shield like it's nobody's business. I respawned at max parasites and the Iron Golem only took my normal health and completely ignored the absorption I had. Moving into your next ability, you've got extendable limbs. You have the ability to control your parasite to move from one place to another, allowing you to extend your arm's reach for a much further reach. This reach is effectively around 8 blocks, but of course, as you grow in size, you have less of a reach in comparison to your actual size, especially if you're digging straight down. For example, if you're at the 4-block height, you can only actually dig down 5 blocks because it has to take up 3 of your block reach to go past your actual body. Because of most mechanics of Minecraft, with your vision, with your ability to hit, it all starts at the base of your head / your eyes, meaning that it has to go past the length of your body before it actually can start doing things, but it counts the length of your body to any form of calculation on your reach. Moving into your next ability, you've got the Fire Shield. You can concentrate your parasites to be resistant to fire for 5 minutes. This has a 7-minute cooldown. This uses your load toolbar activated control, which is normally combined to the X key unless you've changed it yourself. But when you use this ability, this will give you maximum fire resistance for, again, 5 minutes. So at least with this origin, you do have the ability to counteract your massive fire debuff with the fact that you take a lot of extra damage from fire and lava by just using your ability here, which gives you a fire shield for 5 minutes. Of course, the ability has a 7-minute cooldown, but that really only means 7 minutes in total, as it will also count towards the 5 minutes that you have the ability for, and then only an extra 2 minutes after the fire resistance runs out on you. But the big thing with this ability, it will take half of your parasite bar in order to use this ability, so be aware of that. You will lose a huge chunk of your buffs when you do use this ability, temporarily though, as it does tend to come back up again about a minute-ish afterwards. Now at this point, you can now just evolve your origin in order to go to either of the 3 different types of parasite origin. Now they are very simple and very easy to explain. They were all explained at the start of the video if you want to rehash over that, as basically the explanation that's dropped in the Discord server is all it is. There is no any extra abilities aside from the tank being a bit stronger, having a lot more health but being slower, and other things along those lines there. And there's no ever extra massive amount of ability changes. You have the same amount of abilities, just with different variants on how your character acts based upon which evolution path you take. Either way, let me know what do you think of this origin. What are your thoughts about it? Do you think it's overpowered? Do you think it's underpowered? What are your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, you guys have some pretty good opinions about this one, and have a discussion in the comments down below with other people, and let me know what you think about this origin. Either way, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button down below. Also, go make sure to check out the 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼 channel, which I will have a link in the description down below. And until next time, guys, massive thank you to my channel members, my $25 channel members Holly the Void and Saturn, as well as my $10 member 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼. And until next time, guys, goodbye.